The Astros dropped 2 out of 3 to the Kansas City Royals, yet again, their second straight series loss in as many years at Kauffman Stadium. What went wrong in this series? We're going to talk all about it. It feels like I'm talking about the same crap as I've done in the previous couple of videos I've done about series recaps this season with the Astros offense just doing absolutely nothing despite some quality pitching. And that was more the case in this weekend series, as despite all three Astros pitchers getting quality starts over the course of this weekend series at Kauffman Stadium against the Royals, the Astros dropped 2 out of 3. Though, despite this, the Astros are still above 500, and I forgot to mention in my previous video that with the Astros sweep of the Toronto Blue Jays, they're already above 500. Last season, it took them all the way until June to even get to 500. And well, we're almost through the month of April, and they're already above 500. So on paper, this Astros team is better than last year's team. I mean, it's obvious that with the bad starts that they had gotten off to, it feels like the Astros are playing with more of a chip on their shoulder this year. They're far from being a World Series contending team this season. I think that we're kind of well past those days. But I mean, still overall, I feel like the Astros are still kind of like, trying to regain their hierarchy here in the AL. Obviously, this setback against the Kansas City Royals, losing 2 out of 3, is a bit of an issue. But, I mean, let's go ahead and talk about it. Real quickly, though, let's dive right into a couple of injury updates. We'll start with, unfortunately, a bad one that I had come across this morning. Forrest Whitley, despite being reinstated off the injured list a week ago, is headed back to the injured list with a right knee sprain. So hopefully hopefully he'll recover from that relatively quickly. There are some people out there. I don't really listen to a lot of Astros podcasts these days. I mean, the only other one I personally listen to is the Locked On Astros podcast. So, shout out to Brett, to H-Town Wheelhouse, and Eric Heisman, the hosts of the Locked On Astros podcast. But yeah, Forrest Whitley, I mean, some are saying on some other podcasts that they don't think that Forrest Whitley is going to be able to make it in the big leagues, that he might retire. I mean, I don't think he's probably going to retire at any time, but I really feel like that if this knee is going to be bothering him for most of May, then it's going to be a pretty serious issue. And we probably would want to consider trading him. But I swear, dude, Forrest Whitley feels like he's going to be the next Lance McCullers, being out for another season or so with so many injuries. A dude that just can't stay healthy. But speaking of Lance, he did make a rehab start for AA Corpus Christi this past weekend, and rumor has it that we might see him in a pitch for the Astros and rejoin the rotation at some point, like very soon. My guess is that, my hope is that we'll see him next weekend in Chicago. I mean, maybe we might see him this week against the Tigers, but we'll see. But diving right into the series itself, starting on this first game, I mean, obviously the Astros had come in having got the day off the day before, and then the Royals on this same day had to play a doubleheader after getting rained out on this past Wednesday. So I mean, you would think that their bullpen would be taxed coming into this game until Seth Lugo came in and pitched 8 shutout innings to pretty much just get the bullpen well rested. I don't know what was happening with the Astros offense. They had hit so many hard baseballs in this game, 9 of them to be exact, but only 2 of them were hits. I mean, I guess maybe that's just how it is. Maybe that's just how baseball is, the way the cookie crumbles, that sort of thing. But unfortunately, the Astros just could not get anything done against Seth Lugo. And I mean, the same can certainly be said for the second game of this series on Saturday, where the Astros, despite getting some base runners on against this Royals starting pitcher, I can't remember who his name was, but despite that, the Astros were not able to cash in and were shut out for a second game in a row, wasting 2 quality starts by Hayden Wesneski and also Framber Valdez. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that with how marginal this offense can be whenever it's just not having its night, their pitching needs to be on top of their game. And unfortunately, it can only do so much. And this is a prime example of that. Like, only 2 runs given up by Framber Valdez in this game, that's still great. But when you have no run support from your offense, there's nothing, as a pitcher, there's nothing you can do about that. And I mean, that's just kind of sad to even be mentioning that. But I mean, that's just the way it is. Like, this offense needs to be, putting out at least 3 or 4 runs per game. I mean, on some nights, of course, that's not going to happen. But, in order for us to win games, we need to be putting out 3 runs a game. So, that's just the way it is. But the Astros were able to do exactly that and then some on Sunday's game, with Yordan Alvarez getting the scoring started with a 3-1 blast in the top of the third inning, Hunter Brown in this game was dominant once again. He was coming into this game with the 5th longest scoreless innings streak in Astros history. That streak would unfortunately come to an end in the bottom of the 5th inning when Bobby Witt Jr. would tag him for an RBI double. So, I mean, that was sad to see that streak come to an end, but it does rank as the 5th longest such streak in Astros history. So that's still very good from him. But yeah, the Stars were out for the Astros on Sunday with Hunter Brown continuing his masterful pitching, and of course Jordan finding his stroke with hitting a couple of RBIs in this game, 3 RBI or 3 to be exact, and all 3 of them came in the 3rd inning with one swing of his bat to put us up 3-zip in the top of the 3rd inning with a monstrous home run. Jeremy Pena would then add on to that lead in the 5th inning with an RBI single, one of 3 RBIs he'd notched over the course of this game. The other 2, of course, came on a 2-run double by him in the top of the 6th inning, plating Zach DeZenzo and Chazzy. And Chas McCormick also had a very solid performance in this game, having 3 hits, including a double. So that was very awesome to see. I mean, this guy, of course, is having a lot of responsibilities this year. I really hope that this can continue out of him, seeing that he is taking over for a 3-time All-Star in Kyle Tucker, like I had said. I mean, Cam Smith, I feel like, is starting to outduel him for that starting position out there in the outfield. I mean, there's still an instance where both of those guys can play on the same day with Altuve or Jordan in left, and maybe Doobie out in left field. Chazzy, of course, could be in center, and then Cam Smith or right field on days when Cam Smith doesn't start. But when Cam Smith's in the lineup, he can obviously be in right field, Chazzy in center. But that's not what I'm not going to talk about that. But the Astros, the bullpen, unfortunately, could not preserve the shutout as the Royals would tag them for 2 more runs. One in the bottom of the 7th on a sac fly by Jonathan India, and then the other one was on a bottom of the 9th on an RBI triple by Drew Waters. And despite Taylor Scott making the game somewhat interesting in that sense, he was able to slam the door on the Royals and avoid them from completing the sweep on us. So that was, overall, dude, that was a very good win in favor of what's coming up for the Astros, in that we're coming home to host the Detroit Tigers before hitting the skies once again. So it'll be a short 3-game homestand, but I'm hoping we can get a couple of wins against the Tigers. I mean, the Tigers are my pick to win the AL Central. So, I mean, we'll see how this 3-game set goes. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed, and leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Want to watch any of my other videos, then click these cards here that are above my shoulders. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, like I said, and I'll see you guys in the next video.